Very good morning, students. So today I would like to discuss two 5-mark very important questions. One is like construction of index number and second one is construction of cost of living index number. So these two questions I would like to discuss today. So in the previous video we have completed all the 1 mark, 2 mark questions. Now these are the main questions which are to be completed today. So thoroughly you follow this video. These two are very important even from board exam viewpoint also. So let me explain the both methods, construction steps of index number and construction steps of cost of living index number. So let us see what are the steps first. While constructing an index number or problems in the construction of index number, the following whatever I have written on the board, just look at there. First, construction of index number steps. The following are the some of the main steps involving in construction of index number. These are the main steps which are involved in the construction of index number. First one is the purpose of an index number, defining the purpose of index number. Second step is selection of base period, and the third one is selection of items or commodities, and the fourth one is obtaining price quotations, and fifth one is selection of an average, and the sixth one is selection of weights, and the last one selection of suitable formulae or formula, whatever it is, right? These are the main steps involved in the construction of index number. First and foremost, the purpose. Defining the purpose of the index number. We have to state the purpose. For what purpose we are collecting this index number, that has to be very well defined. Remember, the first and foremost problem in the construction of index number is to define clearly, precisely the purpose for which the index number is calculated or required. Remember, so for which the index number you are calculating, you should know the purpose clearly and precisely. Remember this, as different index numbers are useful for different purposes. A clear definition of purpose will help in the selection of an appropriate index number. Remember, so while constructing the index number, the first and foremost step would be the purpose. This purpose should be clearly and precisely defined for what the index number is calculated or required, as different index numbers we have seen gives like uses for different purposes, right? A clear definition of purpose will help in the selection of appropriate index number. We have many index number formulae and then many index number methods, but selection of the purpose clearly defines the appropriate index number what to be taken for the calculation or for the requirement. Clear? Once the purpose of the index is known, if you know the purpose clearly, it helps in what items are to be selected, what average is to be selected, and what weights are to be taken. So all these things well in advance before starting that particular step you will come to know. You will be knowing that. Clear? So this purpose mostly helpful to know about the future things, like how many items are to be selected, what's a particular item is to be selected, selection of items, and what average has to be applied to find or to construct the index number, and then how many weights are to be considered. So everything you will come to know well in advance if you know the purpose of index number. Do you understand? This is the first step. Step number 2, selection of base period. As you all know that base period is used for comparisons. The year which is selected for comparison is called the base year or base period, we can say. The year which is selected for the comparison. Clear? That itself is a base period. Now, selection of base period is a crucial step to construct an index number. Remember, so generally so far many problems we have seen directly they have given the base period, but how the index number has been selected particular base period. There are some following norms, conditions, restrictions, limitations which are to be followed for the selection of base period. Remember that. Index numbers are always constructed with reference to some period known as base period. The index for base period is always taken as 100. So for every problem, the conclusion what you are writing it. After 100, how much it is increased, to the 100, how much it is decreased. So that is what you are writing it. Clear? So for every method in index number problems, right? So what exactly the value or the index for base period is always taken as 100. It is a fixed one, remember, right? The base year value also we can say directly, it's a 100, or the index for base period is always 100. The base period may be for a month, maybe a year or a month or a day. The period what we are saying, no, the base period, it may be a year or it may be a month or it may be a day also, depending upon the situation. We have to take it. Now, what are the general norms, conditions which are to be followed for the selection of base period? Condition number 1, this is very, very important even for 1 mark or 2 mark also. Write any 2 considerations or norms for the selection of base period. This way the question will be asked. The first one is, base period should be economically stable. Remember, so whatever the base period you are selecting for computing an index number in the current year, the base period what you select that particular year must be economically stable. Remember, what does it mean economically stable? See, that economically stable in the sense, whatever the year you selected, no, that year must be free of earthquakes, droughts, floods, strikes, wars, okay, lockdowns, or any such kind of period. Such year you are not supposed to select. For example, in the coming years, 2025 year, if you want to select 2020 is the base, do you think that 2020 is an economically stable period? No, due to corona and due to COVID-19 pandemic situation, completely that economy has become unstable. Clear? So that way the period should not be selected. Remember, so the period what you select for comparing or for constructing index number in the current year, that period must be economically strong and stable. Remember. And second norm, the base period what you select, no, should not be too distant from the current period. Remember, so suppose 2025 I took, 2019 is the base, okay, fine, within 5-6 years difference, nothing much difference it is. But for 2025 taking 1990 or 2000, such a long gap, 20-25 years, 30 years, this way, generally whenever you select a base period, it should not be too distant from the current period. Remember. Clear? That is the second norm. And the third one is, depending upon the situation, the base period is selected either a fixed or chain based period. Remember. So depending upon the situation, the selection of base period, it may be a fixed one or chain based period also. What do you mean by fixed base period? If a period of comparison is kept fixed for all the current years, for example 2020, 2021, 22, 23, 24, 25, for all these 5 years, 2017 is fixed as a base for all the current years. So that way, fixing the year which is kept fixed for all the current periods, that itself is called as a fixed base period. Then what do you mean by chain base period? Chain base period in the sense, if the relative changes in the level of phenomenon for any period are compared with that of immediate preceding period. For example, 2021 you took, right? Say for example 2020, there is no pandemic, everything is clear and economically stable period. That way you be under the imagination. 2021 is a current period. then what would be the base? The preceding year 2020 would be the base. If 2020 is the current, 2019 will be the base. If 2019 is the current, 2018 will be the base. So immediately the preceding year, that itself is called as a chain base, right? If the relative changes in the level of phenomenon for any period are compared with that of immediate preceding period is called as a chain base period. Clear? Totally I said purpose should be clearly and precisely known, defined for what the index number is required. If you know the purpose, there is a possibility of selecting an appropriate index number. At the same time, for the selection of items, selection of average, selection of weights, this purpose knowing would be very much required. Clear? And second thing is selection of base period. Selection of base period, generally the index for base period is always taken as 100, you all know that, and that particular period may be of like year or month or day or anything. So to select the base period, we have to follow some considerations, I mean norms, conditions. Condition number 1, the selection of base period, whatever the year you select for base, that year must be economically stable period. Condition number 2, norm number 2, the base period should not be too distant from the current year. It should not be like too much distance from the current year. It shouldn't be. It should be almost like within 5-10 years within that. And next, the third point is, depending upon the situation, the selection of base period must be a fixed one or a chain based one, depending upon the situation. Fixed base means for all the current periods, if a base period is fixed for all the current years, all the current periods, that itself is a fixed base. What about the chain base? Chain base means the period for which the period which are compared with that of immediate preceding period, right? The year, I mean the current year, which you are observing the changes at the level of phenomenon for compared with the immediate preceding year as a base. 2020 means 2019 will be the base. 2019 is the current means 2018 will be the base. So that itself is a chain base period. I hope I am clear. Selection of base period. And the third one is selection of items or commodities. See, selection of items and commodities basically depends upon the purpose. As I said, if you know the purpose, you will come to know it helps in selection of items also. If you know the purpose, for what purpose you are calculating. Selection of commodities must be made in such a way that it represents the real habits, tastes, customs, traditions of the people for whom the index is meant. Right? So this selection of items must be made in such a way that it represents the our real habits, tastes, interests, customs, traditions, etc. Right? For whom the index is meant. This way the selection of items. If you know the purpose, selection of items also you will come to know easily. This is the third method. And the fourth one is price quotations, obtaining price quotations. What does it mean, obtaining price quotations? Once for all the items are selected, what items are to be selected for finding an index number? With those items, generally after the items are selected, we have to obtain price quotations for each and every item. Remember, we know that the prices may vary from place to place, shop to shop, area to area, in the same market. Clear? In the same market, the prices may vary. If you observe the same price, the same product may have different prices. In one shop, one price they will be saying. In other shop, one more price will be saying. In that immediately the next shop, one more price will be saying that. Then what you have to do? You should obtain the price quotations. This so and so item, what is the price in your shop, and in their shop, in others' shop. So this way, we have to obtain the price quotations. Remember, right? And thus, price quotations are to be obtained from different places or different agencies at regular intervals of time. It is very much essential that after selecting an item, obtaining the price quotations from place to place and shop to shop or area to area also. Definitely it varies. Some shops may be having the same price, some may be having the different prices also. Clear? And then next one is selection of an average. Since index numbers are specialized type of averages, as we said that one of the, what is that, characteristic, they are specialized type of averages, we said index numbers. See, since the index numbers are specialized averages, decisions have to be made such a way that the average should be used for constructing index numbers. So averages are to be used. So how many kinds of averages we have? Two. One is arithmetic mean and the second one is geometric mean. Arithmetic mean is the most commonly used because, as you all know, that it is very simple to calculate and understand even by a common man. Clear? So arithmetic mean is the most commonly used average because it is very simple to understand and calculate. And the second one is geometric mean. Geometric mean is always the best average for averaging ratios and relative changes. There is one more characteristics. We deal with ratios in index numbers and then expressed in terms of percentages later. Clear? So we deal with ratios, means for calculating the ratios, geometric mean is always the best method of finding the rates and ratios, remember. Right? So it is preferred in construction of index numbers for the sake of greater accuracy and precision. Remember, AM and GM. That is a method, selection of an average. Next, selection of weights. Weights means quantity, right? How much weight? Quantity. So proper weight should be attached to the various items depending upon the relative importance. See, all the items may not be having the same weight or weightage. In the sense like quantity usage may not be there at home. Sugar daily, like 3 to 4 spoons of sugar we are using it. But rice, 3 to 4 cups. Wheat, again 3 to 4 cups. Right? Milk, minimum or max to max, like minimum or maximum, whatever it is, like minimum half to 1 liter we use per day. Right? Minimum it is. So this way, how the quantities, according to the item, the quantities are to be chosen. Remember. So selection of weights should be attached to such items depending upon their relative importance. Isn't it? Generally, weights are quantities of base period or current period or combining both. As I said, weights are nothing but the quantities. And the last one is selection of formulae. As you all know that one of the limitation, many formulae have been used to construct an index number, but every formula would give individual results. Right? This is one of the limitation. If you go through the limitations of index number, you will come to know. Next, the last one is selection of formula. Selection of formula is based mainly on the availability of the data. It is mainly depends on the availability of the data. When selecting the formula, care should be taken to see that maximum use of the available data is made. Clear? So such a way that you should choose the formula that the maximum availability of the data is made because of that formula. Remember. So these are the construction steps of index number. Next, I hope I am very clear about construction of index numbers, right? Everybody. Now coming to the construction steps of cost of living index number. See, look at the following are the steps to be considered while constructing the cost of living index numbers. First one is defining purpose and scope. Same thing everywhere. If you know the purpose, then only what has to be done, what items are to be selected, how the enquiries are to be made, everything you will come to know if you know the purpose. Remember. So, purpose, defining purpose and scope. First and foremost, the purpose of index number must be clearly known, defined, stated. It is very essential to decide clearly the class of people. Remember, you know the definition of cost of living, right? A cost met by a specified class of people in purchasing a basket of goods and services, right? Some class of people, consumers, they are some class of people, different consumers among different classes of people. We are finding their expenses, expenditures, family budgets. That's the meaning of cost of living index. Clear? So here purpose should be clearly known, defined. Then only it is very clear that we can conduct this survey in future properly. What items are to be selected, how the budgets are to be considered from different families, what method has to be applied for that. So everything you will come to know if you know the purpose. At the same time, while constructing this, along with the purpose, the scope has to be known. Scope in the sense like geographical area, where to start from. We said different classes of people, right? But among those different classes of people, where to start? Poor, middle, rich. So where to start collecting, where to start inquiring. So that selection of area, geographical area, is also very much essential. Next, coming to the second point, conducting family budget inquiry and selecting the weights. Family budget inquiries or survey and selecting the weights. See, the objective of an inquiry is to find out the expenses. What you are doing the inquiry? You are inquiring about their expenses of different classes of people, how much amount they spend in a month or in a day or in a week or in a year, whatever it is, right? The consumption of the consumer, day-to-day basis or weekly basis or monthly basis or yearly basis, among different classes of people, how much they spend, how much their expenditures. So that thing we are doing it in family budget inquiry or survey. Here some families are chosen at random, and then some money, what money they spend on various items have to be collected. So the items classified, like generally items will be there, food will be there, clothing will be there, fuel, lightning, house rent, education, miscellaneous expenses, all these like will be there in everyone's family, right? So generally, randomly some families are to be selected, and what items they are selecting and how much weight they are taking and how much money is spent on those items, everything inquiry has to be done, survey has to be done based on the general things like food, clothing, fuel, lighting, house rent, education, entertainment, miscellaneous, etc. Right? Here the inquiry is conducted on a random basis during the period of economic stability. Same like every time whenever you conduct any survey, that period should be economically stable always. So this, during this corona time, going and asking about expenditure means what people will say? Tell me. If you conduct any survey during this corona time, what people will say? Very poor families, they have become too much poor. Even rich families also, they became like, they spent lot of money, their expenditure has become more. Continuously sitting at home without any work, only expenditure, only expenses, spending the money, obviously their expenditure will become more. So without economically stable period, you are not supposed to conduct any inquiries. Remember that always. So third one is obtaining price quotations. This is everyone knew about this. Clear? So after selection of weights, after selection of items, generally the price quotations will be obtained from place to place and shop to shop in the same market or in the same area. Clear? So and then averages are to be made. Clear? In the construction of index number. And the fourth one and the last one is computing the index number. Methods of computing the cost of living index number. There are two methods. One is aggregative expenditure method and the second one is family budget method. So you know aggregative expenditure method, it is very similar to last payer's price index, and family budget method is similar to weighted arithmetic mean. You know the formula. Aggregate expenditure method is CPI equals to, CPI is nothing but consumer price index, cost of living index or consumer price index, both are one and the same. So methods of computing cost of living index. First one is aggregative expenditure method. Here it is very similar to last payers. As you all know that last payers, what we take, we consider the base year quantities are the weights. Okay, we assign the base year quantities are the weights in last payers. Similarly, in cost of living index aggregative expenditure method, summation P1 by summation P1 Q naught by summation P naught Q naught expressed in percentages, like multiplied by 100. At the same time, family budget method is just like a weighted arithmetic mean, that is CPI equals to summation WP by summation W, where W are the weights, P is nothing but price relative. Clear? So this is how the both methods, construction of index numbers steps and construction of cost of living index number steps, both are very much required. So you have to study both. Clear, guys? See, along with these two, there are 1 mark 2 mark questions which are like characteristic, uses and limitations. Characteristics of index number and uses of index number and limitations of index number. So let us see, just orally I will be explaining, I am not writing on board. Characteristics of index numbers, what are they? First point, index numbers are specialized type of averages, you all know that. And second one is, index numbers are expressed in ratios, but just for comparison purpose we express in terms of percentages. After finding the ratio we express in terms of percentages. That is the reason every method has been multiplied by 100 except finding those averages and all. Clear? And the third one is, index numbers study the effect of factors that cannot be measured directly. So effects of factors it studies. It will not be it will not be measured directly, index numbers, remember. And the fourth one is, index number facilitates the comparison, obviously. So ultimately for comparing only we are doing, now from base to current, how much the comparison in price level or in quantity level or in value level, that we are checking it. And next, uses of index number. As you all know that uses, index number simplifies the data, thus facilitate comparative study. It simplifies just for comparative study. Only for comparative study we are constructing index number and we are simplifying the data. Next, index numbers are used in studying trends and tendencies, obviously. So every year the things will change abruptly, right? Next, third one is, index number helps in measuring purchasing power of money and used for deflation. You know the deflation. Deflation means sudden fall of prices, right? Sudden fall of things, production, everything. Next, index number measure change in cost of living of different groups of people. So index number definitely useful for finding or constructing the cost of living of different people, isn't it? We have seen no construction of CPI. Next, index numbers are used by the government to frame suitable policies regarding fixation of bank rates, allowances to government employees, license to new firms, imports, exports, taxation, etc. Clear? These are the uses. Now coming to the limitations, nothing but a demerits. Uses are the merits, limitations are the demerits. First limitation is, index numbers just we are based on the sample data, so they are just appropriate indicators. Index numbers calculation, right? Some sample data only we are taking and finding it and constructing the index number. Second thing is, there is a likelihood of error being introduced at each stage of the construction of index number, because sample data we are following, we are not considering any census, each and everything we are not considering. So when you are considering a sample data, obviously there is a chance of biasingness. Clear? There is a chance of biasing nature, remember. So there is a likelihood of error being introduced in every stage while constructing an index number, because we deal with numbers, remember. Third thing is, while constructing index number, the quality of the product is not taken into consideration. Quantity we considered every method, but anywhere have you considered quality? No. That is one of the demerit, right? Depending upon the quality also, sometimes prices, quantity may get effect, remember. Like other statistical techniques, index numbers can be misused because we deal with numbers, right? And we are considering only the sample data without checking the quality. Obviously, there is a chance of misusing it for getting desired conclusions. Next, fifth one, as customs, traditions and habits changes from place to place, time to time, right? And it is very difficult to assign proper weights to the various items. See, for example, potato in the north, the usage will be more, right? But wherein in south and all, the usage of potato is very less, right? So we cannot assign weights, common weights in this country, like everybody will use this potato like this. We cannot do it. Next, sixth one, many formulae are used in the construction of index numbers, and the different formulae give different results, outputs. Clear? So these are the limitations of index numbers. With this, the index numbers chapter is completed, the revision. So I hope you are very clear and understanding all the videos. So prepare well for the examination. So during doubt clarification session, please utilize the time, if any. So kindly follow the schedules time to time. All the best for the exam. So prepare well for your examination. All the best. Thank you. Take care.